Bom dia. Sim, agora ninguém. Entendeu? Olá. Não.
O que aconteceu ontem com a senhora que caiu na Senhora do Monte? Foi uma senhora ontem.
Mas não foi no meu grupo.
Não foi no teu grupo, não sabes?
Não sei, alguma coisa com o Pedro. Pedro estava no grupo do Pedro e não sei que era do Pedro ou não.
Tá. Obrigado.
Tá. Sim.
Bom dia. Filha, bom dia.
Tudo possível.
Nesse dia.
Mais um dia. E aí, foi às festas?
Já fui.
Já foste às festas?
É Yuri.
Para dar energia ou pela manhã?
dia, Júlio.
Bom dia.
Tudo bem?
Tudo.
Júlio, dá-te um bacalhau ao João, pá. Mas é sério, tens que tentar um bacalhau amanhã.
Pois.
Eu não vou mais, eu só tenho.
Sempre.
Tá.
Já tens coisas boas.
pessoal nota, né? O pessoal quer ver alguma coisa.
Bom dia.
Tudo bem?
Bom dia.
O primeiro lava-jato de Tuk-Tuk em Lisboa, tá bom? Pode avisar a galera aí. Ele passa por dentro. Ah, pra ele passar no outro?
Tá bem? Obrigado, senhor.
Só ter cuidado na hora na hora de colocar, ter um pouquinho de cuidado pra ela.
afinal, se for para Portugal, não vamos estar a preocupar com isso agora. Só muito bom. Aqui na porta.
Olha, vocês aí. Olá, então. Você fez isso para mim lá um dia, só ficar. Não, talvez. Tem que cortar.
Também.
Tem que cortar. Já tem que alguns.
Vou ver se ela comprou. Vê se ela já comprou esse café que você
Não posso, então. Obrigado. Primeira atividade dessa segura. Lembro. Não estava muito.
Que nunca mais acabava.
Depois que eu tava grávida.
Nunca mais acaba. Opa, dois, né? Lá no hospital nasceu. Uma parada, o jornal, uma parada, nunca mais acabava. Olha. Então, sim. Eu não lembro de nada.
Dois passageiros.
Hã?
Dois passageiros.
Yeah. Não, dois para ficar feio pingado.
É aqui, né?
Sim. Tem umas mulheres. Yeah, I go there. I usually do. I need to go. You need to stay there, bro. No, I'm not. Now I don't get it anymore. She just tells me that I need to go there, and now you need to go there. Now I don't get it anymore. No, tell, ask her please, because now I'm now I get the. Yeah, go there. Yes, go there. Go there.
Deixa eu ir abrir pra
Okay. No, hello. Padaria porque yes, you take coffee and then you move there. No, he doesn't need the directions because he would be driving behind me. Because then he just only needs to go straight. Yeah, no problem. Say that we will be there in, yes. Okay, cool. Bye-bye. You too. Now we need to go there. These people really don't know what they want, man. Money. I also want money, but I already have money, bro. I did this for 2 months. No, the first month is this. 4 days a week. You just go, you feel not asking money for the vehicle. Because you it comes exactly 1 week before like 2 days before they pay. So I'm gonna ask Pedro. Amigo. So. Yo, my legs are really that's the shit. Deze piep, man is van oh, heel goed. Oh nee, kijk. That is not there. Bad fuck. Nee, nee. Bro, you're only making it work. You need to stop doing that, doom thinking. Doom thinking. Okay, that's not what I'm serious. What you're doing is doom thinking. I was not stressing about anything, and now I'm stressing because you told me this. So stop doing that.
Yeah,
Why?
because it first what you see the school is in that then you pick.
Well, of course it's already still there, bro. Otherwise I wouldn't get a call.
So you really get stupid.
Yeah, if they tow your vehicle, they first call you. Did you get any tickets in the mail? No. Okay, basta. And then it's still there. It's not in an illegal place. It's just standing outside the curb. Maybe I live there, bro. They don't know. Just stop with that good thing, please, because it's not useful.
Is doen we dat goed.
Yeah, alleen nog zeker. Het is nog
Iya. Iya, kabelnya. 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 Iya. 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 Oh,
já tinha um plano. Queria ver o carnaval lá no Brasil. Eu um dia tenho uma fé. Um dia tiver sorte de ver o carnaval ao Brasil. E teve uma carnaval do mundo. A Madeira porque a tradição do Brasil. O carnaval de Madeira, as flores, a tradição do país, a lembrança do pai, enfim. O carnaval de Madeira, a das coisas também não foi muito lá. Tudo as espécies que claro, só chegar à maneira de valor assim. Olha, mês que vem, falso.
Mês que vem? Muito tempo.
Outro mês. 10 é, está calmo.
Aí posso falar.
Sim, mas já estou.
Duas doses de presunto e queijo, 2 capuchinhos. A do jogo do André era maior. Aquela meteu era justinha. E esta eu fiquei que era do André, porque o André não sabia, já fica maior. E as duas é engraçado. Mas eu gosto mais dessa que é mais folgada.
Eu suada. Olha, eu consegui não pensar. Eu quero um sítio, como eu, que não é todo e veio ver. Veio isso tudo. Isso tudo. That's it.
Take it.
Sì.
No choice. What?
Thank you very much.
Obrigado.
Obrigada.
Yeah.
E a minha galinha?
Olha, assim. Di sini pam, pam. E o meu galo?
Hoje não tem pau.
Ok, não há? Silencia. Sivi!
Obrigado.
Sabão que sabão. Sabão, né?
Bota aí.
Bota aí. Não foi o filme. Không nhau không đi ra đấy.
Bom dia. André já anda para no Brasil.
Obrigado por me ter vindo para cá. Está maior.
Obrigado, Ana.
Senta olho do céu. Muito bem. E a próxima?
Das 8h15 e chegava agora, a hora que vai chegar.
So I have at 10 reservation for 2 hours in English. So from now on it takes 38 minutes to the hotel. Ask for the clients. Let's go. Only a reservation. way. There we are. Second, I have a help for the climb. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh!
Oh!
I'm too tall. She's shorter.
Little question. Where do you come from?
Sweden.
Sweden. Ah, great. So I like always to know a little bit my clients to fit the tour, like what people like.
Yeah. Okay.
So at first, a little question. You like history?
Yes.
So then we share a lot of history. Very great. And maybe you don't know that much of Portugal, right?
No, because we just said that yesterday that you don't really hear much about Portugal from where we live. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is sad. Yeah.
Don't worry. It's a bit sad, but more for the Portuguese. That is a lot of people don't know about Portugal. And even though we are one of the older countries in Europe, and we have also very special history.
Yeah.
Just a second, let me say I'm here.
Yeah.
So very good. So that you don't need this one because some guests are like a little bit like me.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, so this is the first time we stayed. We were right down on the seafront. Oh, the front.
Then I want to introduce you a little bit of Portugal history. So maybe the ancientry of the Swedish maybe are the Vikings, I think.
Yeah.
So, and the ancientry of the Portuguese are the Lusitanians. The word in Portuguese, Lusitanos, means more or less the people of light. So, Lusitanians couldn't write, but there was mentioned by the Romans. The Romans want to take that place, and the part of the became the Roman Empire who was fighting most or longest was against the Lusitanians. So the Lusitanians, the Romans mentioned they are living in between two big rivers, which is one ends here in Lisbon and the other is in north ends in Portugal. So, but so the Lusitanians was mentioned first 600 before Christus, but maybe it's older. Because there is Asian tribe for whole Europe was the Celtics.
Yeah.
Long before the Vikings, long before any tribe around in Europe, and then they spread into whole Europe. And the part who be most original came to the British Islands, more precise, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. And by the rest is mixed up a lot. So, and the only thing what we know about Celtics, the Lusitanians, is when we make excavation, we found always Celtic artifacts. So it could be something very, very far to the Celtics, or maybe they make it a sample by the Celtic. So why I go so bad? Because our language was built in the 4th century in northwest Spain.
Okay.
And there was a regional Celtic tribe came from the north, probably Ireland. And it was in between, nowadays, the parts of Spain in between Galicia and Asturias in the north of Spain. So, and there was a kingdom called Leon. The leader of this kingdom was a woman, a queen. And the son, and that is a bit weird, decided to make his own empire, own country.
Yeah.
So they're fighting already against the Moors because after the Roman Empire, the split, they came in that time, there was a lot of different tribes, and even this part of northwest Spain, there was even Germans just came, settled, and playing kings. So and then came the Moorish people and take over the whole peninsula, and then begins the Reconquista, fighting against the Moorish for the Christian. So and this kingdom was started. This in northwest Spain started, and then they go down, and then when our first king arrived to Porto, he decided to make his own country. So, and maybe you need to know what the old name of Porto was. It was Portus Cali. And Portus is Latin and means just half. And Cala, we don't really know what it is, but for me, the most logical theory, came from the Celtic and means mountain. And the old Porto is on 2 mountains. So now it's in more mountains, but now in 2. Back then in 2. So maybe he decided, because he knows some original Celtic in his country, to join the Celtic with the Celtic. Somehow, because I found something Celtic in the next, more or less, the point where everything is surrounded. The fighting against the Moorish. against an unchristian empire. So, unchristian empire, we have also a person who get his holy status fighting against an unchristian empire, which is the Saudis have, and he got this in the 4th century also. But in nowadays, East Spain, in Zaragoza. And he get his holy status fighting against the Roman Empire, which was at that time not Christian. And of course, the Moorish, after a few, I think 200, 300 years, they came to Zaragoza. They found the grave of him, and then they noticed the history. So they get somehow afraid and take the bones from him away. So why I said that? Because our king fighting, and after he founded the country, 1134, he came 12 years later to Lisbon, and when he take Lisbon, he noticed that the bones of São Vicente are in nowadays Algarve, South Portugal. Then they sent us crusaders and Portuguese knights to bring back the Christian bones to Christian land.
Yes.
So they go there and found the grave, they say, and then they take the bones, and the whole way they're following two coasts. To Lisbon, now we have a cathedral with the bones of São Vicente, and the shield of Lisbon is the ship, and left and right on the ship is a crow, a sign from São Vicente. Now comes the really weird thing. Always when our king died, they open the body, take the heart of the body, put it in a jar, go to São Vicente in one room, and put it below the floor, and close it with a stone. Because our king's self-thinking is to fight for the Christianity. At first against the Moorish, and then they spread all over. So yeah, okay. I think we can start to drive. And there's a little thing also. We have something about before and after. We have one day in our history, the 1st November, All Saints' Day, 1755. The big earthquake. And it's of course the whole city, even that goes to Spain, was very big. But then here on the upper town, they live in the rich people. They had carpet on the wall, carpet on the floor. The oil lamps fell down and begin to burn here.
Yeah.
And then this
All black everything today.
flee to downtown because they thought in front of the palace of the king they are safe.
Yeah.
They was in front of the palace of the king, and unfortunately then came a tsunami.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was just like an event, a fortunate event following each other.
Yeah, yes. The earthquake and tsunamis come often together.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's also the earthquake first and then the tsunami. So yeah, and so means more than half of the people died. There are some numbers about 50,000. We have a few mass graves. Our king on that time was José I. He was just 5 years on charge.
Oh.
And then he get immediately in deep sadness and go to Sintra, 30 kilometers from here, put it in and lock it. Then you are never out. Just to say to Marquis Pombal, take care of bury the dead and take care of the survivors. And then was more or less Marquis Pombal the next king, without really. So, because we will go like the streets are and we'll explain which, and something I want to say that is after.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now we go to the time of the discoveries because the next monument what we see is from Luís de Camões. He was the most important poet for the Portuguese themselves. Every schoolgirl, every schoolboy has to read his work, which is called the Lusíadas. You can hear that is something about our Asian treatment. And he lived just in the same century like our discoverers, and he talked to them, and then he make a book. So, and the monument will appear on my left side. Here's this one. Luís de Camões. And one of the things he shared with us is that our captains like to leave a sailor in some place. They want to have contact.
Yes.
And with this one order to make friends. And then they leave them and go to the next discovery. And then when they came back, these people mostly supply with water and food.
Yes.
And they became part of a trade line. Oh. So sorry.
Don't worry.
So there we are. So now we come to a very interesting monument. The small one, this one, is now in front. Look at its gaze here. It looks like a rapper he just made. Here, this one.
Yeah. Ah.
And he's also smiling, so from that perspective, you don't see it. That is Antonio Ribeiro. That is a poet after when the Spanish could take us, not by war, only because our kings had no chance.
Yeah.
So, and so there came a Spanish king to Lisbon, and they want to speak some Portuguese. And but what they do, they just make a sound on the end. Because we Portuguese, we have the smooth ending of the words. And then I want to explain it in English what he said. Aish, like, huge, very much. So, and of course, on that sense, this guy, he was before a monk and then turned to be a poet. To be more accurate, he was a comedian. And to make his whole life fun of that situation. And that's why his nickname is the Ushiado, which is more or less the sound. And the whole quarter here, even your hotel, have the name of him. The nickname of him, Ushiado. So we will face now a street which was very important time of the kings. There was the tailors, there were shoemakers, the modists, serving the king family and all the rich people.
Yeah.
So we go a little bit up to the uptown. That's the only way we can do.
But did the king live
The king lived in the city.
Yeah.
but to be honest, we have no kings anymore. So.
No, no.
In the beginning, he lived in a castle, and he had a palace in the castle. Then the palace came downtown, and after it, they have a few palaces. So when we come to the streets, we'll see a lot of shops, but nothing from the old time. So everything changed. But there's just one shop left. Yeah. So the street is this one, Rua Garel. So this one. So for me, I make it, it looks not very much nicer. You see a lot of balconies, of course, and it is a bit nicer, but not that much, right? So because Lisbon is in general very beautiful, I think. So, but now, the shop, the one I want to say, who's left, is the bookstore. And the bookstore have now a title that is the oldest bookstore in the world. Founded 1732. Now on my left side is one Livelier Bernard.
My dad is there.
Another section.
So, because there's a richer people, this church, the inside of this church looked a bit after the Sixtine Chapel in the Vatican. So big paintings. Oh, and when we are lucky, we can see something inside. Oh, it's open, right? Take a look at it. Of course, it's not so much light because they want to. You want to see it? Oh. Yeah, I just put it. Yeah, no problem. The only difference is if you have a hat, but you have no hat. Okay, I will wait for you. Welcome.
déjà rentré dans un alley-up ou pas? It was beautiful.
Íbamos a caravanas, pero caravanas,
So now you will see, that was in front of me, it is the brewery. They make it beer back then. And it looks like our beer, golden yellow.
Yeah.
On the left side, this building. So we had an earthquake, and now we see a church who was never rebuilt after the earthquake. And there you have get a feeling how it was just the earthquake.
Oh, that's really nice.
And it is here, this one. On my right side, Igreja de Carmo, the Church of Carmo.
Is that from the earthquake?
Yes.
You
You can guess that the most of the buildings was destroyed because the earthquake alone was very strong. Oh, we have medieval because this it means we have some who survived.
Yeah.
Two or three survived incompletely. But one of these are also the Cathedral of Lisbon. We will pass.
Yeah.
And the next building, you will see some guards in front of it.
Yeah.
That is the headquarters of the National Guard. And there's something very special about it because our revolution against our dictator ended here because our dictator fled to the National Guard.
Yeah.
And then the army and chiefs of the National Guard pleased the dictator to leave the country.
Yeah.
So we go a bit around. So you see, we have also some blonde people here. Next we will see it is the Rocio train station. Of course, built 1900 because of trains, but it is built in neoclassic plan to the monolithic style. The monolithic style you found only here in Portugal. We will pass on the side and then we go around and see even in front. So you see it in totally. And the most interesting fun fact about it, that the trains stop in the upper floor. Because the uptown is here and the train stop here. And then that is the train station. And now we go here around and you will see there's the upper floor. On the right side you see a modern art. Remember the revolution against our dictator, because our revolution was the Carnation Revolution, that is the Carnation flower.
When did you take
What?
At what time did you have this dictator?
We had a dictator since 1920, and we leave the dictatorship only in the year 1974. 25th of April. Even our bridge has his name.
Kind of political stuff.
So, and after this building on my left, you will see the front side of the Rocio train station. A lot of elements from the sea and from the sailing for the ships. So now we come to the monument Restauradores. That's to remember the time when the Spanish take over Portugal, and it was only 60 years and 3 Spanish kings. And after this rule, we have to join our empire together, and there's the monument of it joining again. It's like a big obelisk. On the right side, you'll see the hot dog cafe, but it was a cinema. And even that, you see there's this ornaments on it.
Yeah.
The cinema content. This street is nowadays the most expensive street in Lisbon. It is the Avenida de Liberdade, the Avenue of Freedom. And here's a lot of this very expensive shop you find everywhere in the world. So like Prada and everything. But it's also a good place to go up and down because on this street is a lot of little tiny monuments. But we don't go to the end because this is a street usually have a lot of traffic. Because in the end of it, there is the biggest statue of Lisbon, and it is Marquês de Pombal who we can see this. And we had, after Jose I, the king of the earthquake, we had the first queen, Maria I, and when she saw the statue, he just got the whole power of him, of course. Oh. He used to have a bigger statue than any king here. Yeah. So, but Maria I was a great queen. I will mention that. She made great things. So please look on the right side. After this building, you see one of our lifts. We call it elevators, which bring you to the uptown. We have nowadays we have 4, but back then we had 7. And the last one is not that old. We just it was finished 4 years ago, but it's on the other side. So what we go now, we go to the Baixo. We are in the Baixo now, downtown, where the earthquake and the tsunami hits. It means these houses you see here are all built after 1755, because after the earthquake came the tsunami and washed all away. Yeah. So and you will see that the streets are just straight lines, and the houses are more or less the same size. Yeah. Like a little bit like old New York. So everything what we see here, that is built a little bit after it, because 19th century, like the railway station. This was already there, because this theater is named after our queen, Maria I, our first queen. And the monument here on the middle of this place, the place called Rocio, like the train station. And on top is Pedro IV. He was the son of the queen, the next king. Now I can, what Pedro IV did, he split our empire in two. He split Brazil and the rest of Portugal to two kingdoms, and he became then Pedro I of Brazil too. So there's a little story behind it, because Maria was a queen after the earthquake, and she has to face that Napoleon wants to take Portugal. Napoleon take already Spain, and Maria the First decide to take the honor of the capital city from Lisbon, take it away and bring it to Rio de Janeiro. So Lisbon was still completely destroyed, and of course the king family have to go to Rio de Janeiro, and all the officials, of course, too. And he was 9 years old, prince, and he came from a destroyed city of Lisbon, came to a full-function, beautiful city of Rio de Janeiro. And maybe that is one of the thinkings why he split it into. So this, now you can see it in front, it looks more or less all the same. Straight lines, the house quarters are, okay, there's a 4 and always the same size.
Yeah.
So, and we have, by the way, we have also a very interesting thing on my right side. After this building, in this hole there you see another kind of elevator. That is the most oldest one of them, 1902. And that brings also to Uptown. There's a little bridge behind and bring it to Uptown. And where they came there where the Church of Carmo is.
Yeah.
Guten Morgen.
Bom dia. So it was built 1902 by a guy who, his name is French. His name was Tuk-Tuk, but his family lived for centuries in Portugal, in northern part of Portugal. He studied there philosophy, and then he decided to come to Lisbon to study engineering and build. He built it like the Germans built it before, because in the beginning it was powered by a water tank. So when the water tank was up, the cabin was down. They filled the water in the tank and then pushed by weight the cabin up. So the tank came down and the cabin goes up. And nowadays it's electric because there's a lot of tourists who want to go up and down. That takes too long with the water tank setup.
Yeah.
So on the left side, after this house roast, you will see a shop. Just a moment. Here's on the left side, you see a big rooster.
Oh yeah.
This one, here.
Yeah. 'Cause, 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 'cause
That is a religious symbol because there was a pilgrim who wanted to go to Santiago de Compostela and pass the city of Barcelos, Portugal. And then someone said he's stealing something, and then he came to court. And that time, everyone who steals something, they have to die.
Yeah.
So, and then he came to court, and the mayor of the court said, and there was a rooster already died, about to eat. When this rooster begin to live again, he is not guilty. And the rooster sprang up and saved the life of the pilgrim. So this part is really Renaissance, but made very fast. Yeah. So, and when end of the street, we will climb the hill up, and there the houses are from the medieval means. Of course, there was a lot destroyed. Some of them was completely destroyed, was rebuilt. Some of them are really medieval. But on the way on up, they will pass a church from the 19th century, which is the Sant Antonio. That is very important for you when you come home. And you found some guy who came original from Lisbon. Because you will talk to him, maybe, and maybe you will say Lisbon is a beautiful city. We don't know, like you want. But he will ask you a question when you're not in this book, if you don't understand it. He will ask you if you saw the Sant Antonio. So, and the Sant Antonio is the Sant Antonio of Padua, the sign for the poor people and the lost things. And what Lisbon takes very seriously, Sant Antonio, because he born in Lisbon. He went even to be monk here in Lisbon, and then the church sent him to Italy, Padua, where he got his holy status. That's why we have not only the church of Sant Antonio, we have also the statue of Sant Antonio. On the same place, we have also the house where he born. Look, a lot of Tuk drivers don't mention that. The church is not very old, and maybe they don't understand for the Lisbon people is very important. This person. So this is one of the three most important signs of Portugal. Sant Antonio. That is Magdalena, Igreja Magdalena, and it will appear on my left side. The white church is now in front of me. Is the church Sant Antonio. The black statue here is the statue of Sant Antonio, and the house, which is nowadays with flowers in front, that's the house where he born. Now you can say you saw the Sant Antonio. So a lot of truck drivers don't mention it because maybe also because the next is a church that is our cathedral, and that is really, really old. Built 1147, and the cathedral, I already mentioned it, survived the earthquake. Only one pillar moved about 40 centimeters to the side, but the roof didn't fall down. But since then, always when it's rain also inside. Means in the winter time when it rains a lot, maybe that is the most cleanest floor. The Cathedral of Lisbon, 1147. So our most important church in the cathedral is, of course, one of the most important churches, are built always on the battlefield of the Crusaders. There came a lot of Crusaders to help us in fighting against the Moorish people. And the biggest amount came in from England. And that's why they put it on the battlefield of the English Crusaders, which fighting with the Portuguese together, put it the most important church. And it's now with the cathedral because the seat of the bishop. So now I have to say sorry because this street, I have a name for me. I give it the name Horse Street because it feels like you're on the back of a horse. Sorry for advance. I want to make it as comfortable as possible, but we cannot avoid every hole.
No, it's okay.
We have a lot of hills here in Lisbon. That's why we have a lot of hills. We have also a lot of miradores. Miradores are like viewpoints, and our viewpoint is always with a little or bigger chilling area. Just can grab coffee, can sit a bit, and it looks a little bit special. And one of them came now on my right side. The name is Mirador Santa Lucia on the right. There's also a great, it's also a good place to grab a coffee. And with blue tiles, and this tree with this lilac flowers came, by the way, came from South Africa. And because we have so many hills, we have a lot of these miradores. And the next come less than 10 meters. And that have a very Portugal name, so I think it is Porta do Sol. In English is the doors to the sun. And I can say you always shining in the sun, just overlighted. And it have a statue. It is now behind the tram there. And this is the statue of South Center. On his left hand is the ship. And left and right of the ship, the crows a sign of South Center. There's the statue of South Center on my right side. And the South Center church we will pass is there. We will pass again. Directly. So, our city invited a lot of modern artists to make some places like that one. And now on my left side, no, not now, in a few seconds, on my left side, you will see some...
Como é que tá?
Olá, bom dia.
Muito tempo que eu não te vi, pá.
Bom trabalho.
Só trabalho. Vou trabalhar.
And by the way, this house there, one of the houses who survived after the earthquake. with these blue titles on it. See? So, and here is the modern art, which is in the corner behind the bus station. It's a woman face, a mosaic of the cobblestones. There you are. And because often the artist use some subjects about Lisbon or Portugal, we believe that is the face of Bairro Alto, which is our most important fadista. And fadista are the people who sing the fado. Fado is our most folk music. It's very you hear on the right side. That is fado. Oh, they close it right now. Oh, no, that doesn't sound fado like that.
Yeah.
Fado is like a singing philosophy. It have to be about the subject, have to be explained by the lyrics, and the music have to fit that you can understand better what it's about.
Yeah.
So that's why when you hear Fado, you understand and get new views to a situation and in our culture. So the horse street ends now, and now we have the massage street. On the left side is the church Grace, Igreja da Graça. This church is not so very important because it's from the 16th century, but what is very important is the linked convent, which is behind you. That will not say that much to you, but the heritage of the Convent of Christus are the Templar Knights. The Templar Knights was the protector of the Middle East, the holy site of the Middle East, and even in Europe, even the roots to them. And there was the only one in the Middle Ages who had the allowedness to lend money. Because the pilgrim can struggle, get rubbish or something, they had the possibility to lend money from them. You can guess, if you are the only bank in Europe, you get rich like you, right? So, yeah, they get rich, and there was a king who noted that, King of France, and he began to lend a lot of money. And one day he wants more money, and the Templar Knight said, okay, you have enough, you get no more. And then the King of France go to the Pope. Said to the Pope, they pray all over Europe. And where they could come to Portugal. By the way, also to Malta and England, but the biggest amount came to Portugal. And Portugal, of course, now is Catholic. Back then also, we have to follow somehow the rules of the Pope, and we make it completely different. We close the convent of the Templar Knights, we open a new one and put the same roof on there. Even their sign, because they have a red cross with the thick endings, they take the sign to this convent, but put a white cross inside. So they have free in the year 1307. 10 years later, we founded our navy with the same sign, Convent of Christus, red cross, and the white cross inside. That makes our navy the oldest navy in the world. And the first one we did, because the English asked for us, because England helped us so much, the French want to take come over to the British island, want to take the British island. And our navy is standing there to protect it. And then the French was disappointed, joined with the Castilians, want to take us by their force. Just to know, on that time, Castilla was the most populated country in Europe. Even they joined with the French, and they had a standing army. Portugal had it. So they came with the longbow knights. Very famous, they can shoot very far. So, and we was just the half of the army, and we was just people who works, normal boat works. So they came to Alborota, about 80 kilometers from Lisbon, and then begins the fighting. After a few hours, it wants for the Portuguese to win, and the Spanish began to run. And there was a woman. She had 6 fingers in every hand, so I cannot break 6 fingers. And she was a bakery woman, and she had a bakery shop, and she killed 7 fleeing Castilians, like that. When I heard first this story, I thought 6 fingers, a little bit weird, but it is very common misbuilding. The second most common misbuilding are 6 fingers, sometimes in one hand, sometimes in both, sometimes with bones, sometimes without bones, but mostly they cut it. In the Middle Ages, they don't cut it, they leave it. And the most common is the open mouth, open nose behind the neck. No, that you can see, but the people who cut it cannot see what's happening. So, okay, let's go to the next. And it looks like a little castle, so there was fighting monks. And after they protect the roots, they help us also against the